Okay, today we're going to talk about Alexee Trevizo, the case out of Arizona, or New Mexico, sorry, where this young woman was charged with leaving her baby that she claimed she didn't know she was having in the hospital bathroom, where it died of asphyxiation because she put a plastic bag over it. There's the synopsis. I first said I was going to give it at the end, but here we go. So what I'm going to say right now is what I think would be a better defense for her attorneys. Right now, they're trying to blame everybody, like blame the hospital. Oh, you didn't tell her she was pregnant. Blame this person, that person. I mean, the jury is not going to like that. It has to go back to her. She was the one alone in the bathroom who made the choice to put her baby in a garbage can. I know. This is, it's hard for the childbirth educator and doula to talk about this, but at the same time, I have a little bit of insight into perinatal mood disorders, and that's kind of what I think is going on here. There are a lot of people who are saying like, oh, she's 19, she's an adult, she knows what she's doing. I don't feel like she was treated like an adult. I think her mom very much babied her. She was 19, but she was still in high school. I don't know what's behind that. But whatever it was, we can't look at her situation through the lens of like a mature, older teenager or young adult. She just didn't act that way. A normal kid of that age would have been like, oh crap, I'm pregnant. I better do something about it. And if you can't do something about it, then you got to tell people and say like, listen, I'm not really ready to have a baby at this age. Let's put it up for adoption, blah, blah, blah. And everything would have been fine. But there's this sense when you watch the body cam footage that her mother is very intense, very controlling, and that Alexee was terrified of her. Really terrified. You can see like when they reveal to mother and Alexee that they found a baby in the bathroom in the garbage and it's dead, the mother is like completely freaked out, and Alexee is just kind of like, I didn't know, I was scared, and she also says it wasn't breathing, which is like a denial thing, right? She's claiming that it's not really a human. She doesn't even give it a gender pronoun. Okay, so her ability to cope with reality is something called psychotic denial, which can occur in pregnancy and manifests itself by being a woman who's delusionally out of touch with reality, believing that the pregnancy does not actually exist. Check. Okay, we know that about her. Typically, there's an underlying mental disorder, okay, that we don't know, but that wouldn't be too hard to uncover. And the consequence of this type of denial is usually death of the baby within 24 hours of it being born. So, let's see. Her denial, right, when we're speaking specifically about Alexee in this case, was manifested by staunchly denying to anybody who asked that she was in fact pregnant, denying it to hospital staff when she went into the hospital, complaining of lower back pain, which should have been a red flag to them, like, hello, maybe she's in labor, but I'll get to that. And then also she was utilizing diet pills, another sign that she thought she was fat and was trying to lose weight. So all of that is, I like to look at it as the body knows that it's growing a baby, but the brain is not allowing that reality to take hold. So it's the brain is basically denying the pregnancy. It's a psychological manifestation. All right, so let's go to the day of labor, right? Because birth is not just pushing a baby out. It is preceded by hours and hours of contractions, which are opening the cervix and bringing the baby through the pelvis and out through the birth canal. Alexee had been experiencing labor pains, which, by the way, if you've never been in labor before, do manifest themselves in the lower abdomen or around the abdomen in general, but mostly manifest in the lower back. That's usually where women feel labor pains, and that's precisely what she was complaining of. So she's having these labor pains. She is not acting like she's in labor. She's not saying to any safe person like her boyfriend, hey, I think might be having a baby right now. No, none of that. She lets her mother know that she's in a lot of discomfort. Her mother takes her to the hospital. She must have been convincing enough to warrant a hospital visit. And then that also should make us question, why would she go to the hospital if she had any plans of discarding the baby? That would not be the right place to do it. Too many eyes, too many witnesses. If she really was like, okay, I know I'm having this baby, I got to get rid of it. Okay, I know that sounds very harsh, but if that's what she was going to do, then she could have just whatever, had the baby in the bathroom, or gone outside and squatted in the dirt and buried it, which is what some teen moms have done in the past. It's really interesting, this kind of like psychotic denial, whereby it's like your mind is tricking you into saying this isn't happening, which I don't think we should be that surprised about. There are other times in our lives where we go into a protective denial, right? Even we know they're part of the 5 stages of accepting death. One of them is denial, saying like, this isn't happening to me or to my loved one. So, all right, so where am I in my little scenario here? The act of going to the hospital, right? So she's going into the bathroom ostensibly to go to the bathroom. And then if she really, really, truly did not know that she was having a baby, she would have been quite shocked to see a baby come out of her body, in which case she would have acted irrationally. She would have flushed the placenta, ripped the umbilical cord, threw the baby in the garbage, and basically tried to deny that it happened. Even though she's in a hospital, even though it's like there's potentially witnesses all around, she still does the wrong thing by trying to hide what just came out of her, instead of, like, a better reaction might have been like opening the door and being like, help me, I just had this baby, it came out of me, it's not breathing. She could have said that in the present tense instead of in the past tense. Nothing was breathing. I'm sorry, she didn't even give it an it. She said nothing was breathing. Very telling, that phrase. It shouldn't come back to haunt her. It should come back as an illustration of how delusional she was. All right. So anyway, there was a whole issue from her attorney talking about the morphine she was given. So let's just understand this. You walk into the hospital. She did not get an abdominal examination. She just refused to have them do that. She was wearing baggy clothes. They couldn't tell that she was very pregnant, so they gave her morphine because of her lower back pain, and then they did the pregnancy test. Now, one of the things that can you shut the door, please? God. So one of the reasons that they were worried about that was the possibility of an ectopic pregnancy, which happens sometimes with teenagers. I mean, it can happen at any age, but it could be very dangerous with a teenager not knowing she's pregnant, and then next scene, her fallopian tube burst. Okay, so they gave her morphine. Her attorney is trying to say that that was problematic, they shouldn't have done it, blah, blah, blah. It's totally okay to have morphine when you're in labor. They do use it as a analgesic to diminish the discomfort of labor. Is it dangerous to the baby? Well, sure, in high doses for a long period of time, but the most it really does is suppress respiration. Ding, ding, ding. So she has this live baby, and possibly as a result of the morphine, the baby isn't breathing right away. If she had been in the ER or in a proper labor and delivery room and the baby came out not breathing well, all the doctor would have had to do is maybe do a little suctioning or a little supplemental oxygen, rubbing down the baby a little bit, getting the, respiration going, and everything could have been okay. But if she's in the bathroom alone, baby has repressed respiration from the morphine, doesn't cry right away. If you don't know a lot about birth, you just assume that babies come out wailing their head off, and that's how we know that they're good. So this baby comes out of her, it's maybe not making any sound. Instead of saying, hey, help me, I think I just had a dead baby, which, okay, given all the other denial and weirdness in her life, is an unlikely thing to say. She put it in the garbage can. And she walked out and tried to pretend that nothing happened. So I guess basically I'm saying that a better defense strategy would be to focus on what Alexee did, not what other people didn't do, which is kind of like where her lawyer is going right now. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think.